Patrick McNeil back here for another episode of the Inside the Nest podcast, joined by my co-host Brad Chandler. We have a very special guest today who has returned to Cape Breton, former Cape Breton Eagles goaltender Kevin Mandolese. Kevin, welcome back. What brings you back to Cape Breton?
Well, the play is just spending 4 nice years here. From I think I got here at 15 and left at 19, and plays the people brought me back here. I wanted to come back and see my billet families, explore again, and yeah, it's been a great time so far.
This your first time back since?
No, I actually came back in during the COVID when they started opening up. If like you had your 2 COVID shots and all that.
Oh my god!
So I came back here, see my billets and played a little golf at Cabot. Had to.
Oh yeah, got to see Bubs, eh?
Absolutely. Can't miss out. Can't miss out on Bubs.
He loves it too, eh?
Oh, he
were
loves
saying he's
having
having a
the guys around. That's for sure.
What's your best round ever at Cabot?
Oh man, it's probably not a good round. I think I had like 80, 88. Yeah, I played. I had a birdie in my. It was actually my first birdie of that summer. There, I was just starting playing golf, and we decided to just go all out and go to Cape and play Cabot. But I remember it was like 2 great days. They were both like sunny, and it was fun. So much fun out there.
Were you able to golf when you were playing here, or were you were gone by golfing season?
I didn't really pick up golf until COVID, to be honest.
Yeah, the whole world, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. Like everyone picked up golf since COVID, but I had a golf set back home, but it was like intermediate, and I was like 6'4", so I wasn't able really to play with that. So, but yeah, no, didn't really have a chance to play, but I wish.
Well, you can't make up for lost time, but
No.
he's happy to be back. We're happy to have you back as well. You were drafted 13th overall, higher than Marc-Andre Fleury, so you have bragging rights. Just walk us through that whole process of being a first-round pick, getting to go up on the stage and all that, and if you knew it was going to be Cape Breton before the draft.
I remember that year in midget. I was still a bit clueless of what I was getting myself into, just like hockey wise. I was just playing for fun, and then they were talking about drafts. So obviously, like it's their first time going through drafts, and almost like I think it's a human nature to just compare yourself to all the other goalies, and you don't know where you're fitting in, and then when the game starts going and with the performances and all that, you have no clue what's going to happen. And then you're like, oh, he played better than me today and all that. But no, come draft time, I remember meeting with Cape Breton, and they're like, yeah, there's no chance we're picking a goalie in the first few rounds. And I was like, oh, well, I guess that's out of the way. I guess I'm not going Cape Breton. I was like, I didn't really know where it was, but I knew it was far because I knew Felix Marno because I played with his brother that year. So I didn't really have that in the back of my mind, but then after that, come draft time, I remember Cape did a few trades. I think they had the 8th pick or 9th pick, and then they traded to another team
Sounds
to go
right.
to have like the 12th and 13th pick, and then they traded that 12th pick away, but they took like 2 timeouts before taking that 13th pick, and I was like, inside me, I was like, this doesn't. It feels a bit weird. Like I feel I might be going there, but like I'm like, who am I to talk? Like I have no clue. They said they're not picking any goalies, and sure enough, I think JC called my name, and but no, ever since I stepped foot into the island, it was a blast. It was so much fun. It's hard to really appreciate Cape Breton before going until you're here pretty much, and you see the people, you interact with the people, the fans, and it's just something you need to live to understand how fun it is. So yeah, I had no idea it'd be Cape Breton, but I wouldn't change it for the world, that's for sure.
That's funny you say that about goalies too, because you weren't even the only goalie drafted that year.
No,
right?
and it's funny. I think in the first round there's Rodriguez, I think 3rd overall.
Yeah.
And also that year too, I think Cape drafted Colten.
Yep.
And it's funny because I remember one of the draft questions. They were like, "Oh, like who's the other goalie that impressed you?" And like I think will be a good goalie in this league. And I remember watching the games of the combine and all that, and I was like, oh, that Ellis guy, like I thought he was pretty good. I was like, he's like he seems like a very good goalie. I think he'd be good for any team in this draft. And sure enough, they picked him in the 4th round, and we actually became like pretty good buddies over the years. And so no, it's funny how it worked out. And yeah, so it was a funny story when I tell people that. And but yeah, and we ended up spending time in like Hockey Canada, like goalie camps together and all that, being roommates. So yeah, it was funny.
And even playing against him now, I guess, in the A as well.
Yeah, I actually played him this year when they came in Belleville.
Yeah, right.
And played against him in the playoffs with Rimouski too.
Yeah, oh man, he beat us pretty bad, but
Never got the chance for revenge, which is
no,
tough.
I know, but no, he was really good in Rimouski. He had really good years, and they made a pretty good, nice stretch there in the playoffs. So no, like I'm happy for him, especially now that he's getting a shot in the American League. Like he's such a hardworking guy, such a nice guy, like just a pure caper, right? Like nothing bad to say about that guy. But yeah, so I was happy to play against him this year. It was fun to see, and happy that like he kind of got a lot of games in a short amount of time. So yeah.
Yeah, you look too. He's a guy who's kind of pushing you because he's on that strong Cape Breton West team, and Jessamine's there too, who's drafted in the 2nd round.
Mm-hmm.
You seem to have good relationships with those guys, but there's also some kind of healthy competition there too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's especially in juniors. I think that's the best part about junior. I think like if you have 2 good people just pushing each other, is just fun. And especially in junior, you're gonna find a team that wants you and just gonna play 50 games and all that. So no, it was definitely like some fun competition. And obviously Colten got traded away, and he made his mark and put his name on in the Rimouski organization. Had really amazing years, and I think Justin came I think went to Bécomo, then Quebec, and had some good years. And it's the two really good people, 2 really good goalies. So no, I was lucky to have worked with them, and and to have them as friends. That's for sure.
You mentioned earlier reuniting with Bubba, Eagles education coordinator. You lived with him, obviously. He was your billet as your time here. What was that like living with him? Bub's a great guy.
Oh, Bub's a great guy. It's funny because throughout the years, like obviously he's the dad of Boyd and Ella, but when we were together, it was like Jen was had 4 kids to deal with, because I used to be with Cal Havlana, and then also when Ella came along, so she was babying all of us. And but no, he's just great, man. He took a lot of time, especially when I got drafted, to reassure my parents, especially my mom, when it came to school and me leaving the house at 15 and all that. But I don't have there's not enough words that I can I have in my vocabulary to describe how good of a guy Bubba is, and how much you've helped me through my time here. And same goes as Jen. They helped me to mature a lot, and turned this immature 15-year-old boy into a man after my 19-year-old years. So like I said, the words don't describe how well how lucky I was to be in that billet family and to be with Bubba.
I couldn't imagine being drafted by Cape Breton and the first 2 people you meet are Bubba and Ely.
Oh, seriously, it's like
it's perfect.
That's a great
strategic.
Yeah, well, you don't expect Ely to have a guy like Ely in Cape Breton. Like it's rare. You don't have that. And especially to come here my first year and going to French school, and to have a guy like him, it's helping you through school, and also the adjustment with all the English and the French. Like me coming from Blainville, where it's mostly French, and going to French school and doing the transition, and and then after that jumping from the French school to grade 12 in Sydney Academy, just transitioning with all the like English terms for school and all that. Like but yeah, two great characters, 2 great people. It was definitely funny, and it's like I said, Cape Breton are very lucky to have those two in their ranks. That's for sure.
It probably also helped too because you get to live there. You get to live with Olivier LeBlanc, team
Yeah.
captain. I know he's just such a mentor off and on the ice. That probably helped the adjustment a bit too.
Oh yeah. It definitely helped, and especially with what to do and not to do. I know there's always a certain rules with the rookies on the team, and he definitely helped me for that. But yeah, and then whenever it was time for me to be on my own a bit, because Ollie graduated and juniors and went CIS. Yeah, it definitely helped me, like my time there. But then after that, I kind of let loose and just became more comfortable. Just became my goofy self. And I know sometimes I look serious and all that, but deep down, I'm still a little kid and love fooling around. So
who'd want it any other way?
Looking back, is there a game that sticks out to you of maybe your favorite with Cape?
Oh, there's a lot. I think for me, I think as a team and personally was always the Game 6 against Charlottetown, where at home, I think it was in overtime, I believe. And I don't know if a lot of people know that story, but I remember day was just going, just a normal day. I think I just had my pregame and all that, and was playing with the flu for like a month straight. I think it was like start of March to April, whatever. And I didn't think much about it, whatever. Like I was used to playing with the flu and all that. And I remember I wasn't able to nap. I was hot, like itchy and all that. And I wake up and my body's covered with rashes, and it was itchy. And every time I would scratch myself, a new rash would appear. And Jen, my billet mom, she's a nurse. I go to see her. I was like, what's happening with me? Like, am I dying? Like, and Jen was like, oh, like, I think you, like, you might just, have you had, like, flu and all that? I was like, yeah, I've been, like, battling it for, like, the past month, really. And she goes, oh, that's, like, sometimes that happens with your body, like, kind of try to fight itself, and that's the reaction. So, whatever, I hop on the phone with RJ, completely missed my entire nap. Talk on the phone with RJ, the doc, and prescribes me meds and all that. But the meds were like a certain steroid that I had to sign a waiver saying like I'm not and all that, the whole 9 yards. And get at the rink, have to take the pills and put the cream and all that, and just a complete different game day that I'm used to, especially on a big game at home. Charlottetown was such a hard team to beat, and I'm like, man, like, please just let us win this game. And we went on to win the game, and with a pretty packed barn and overtime win, it's like such a good feeling. Everyone goes crazy, and so yeah, I think for myself and the team and the fans, I think, and having like kind of Jen involved in that game day and helping me out, and I think it was a whole community win, and for me that's what sticks out of Cape Breton, right? The community. So I felt that was like what was the most memorable game in my career here.
And what year was that, you said?
I believe it's
2019.
2018. 2019 we didn't play playoffs.
2019, 2020 you didn't play. 2018, 2019 was Charlottetown. You're down.
Oh,
2-0.
my 18-year-old
You're
year.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Down 2-0 in the series too. Came back to win.
Yeah,
the
we
score.
lost the first two games away, and then we won 4 straight, which I never thought that would happen against Charlottetown. They're so hard to beat, especially at home.
Who was on Charlottetown that year?
Oh, they
had Matthew Welsh.
Yeah.
Hunter Drew.
Yes. Drew was 20
Alexandrov. They had a pretty good team.
like kind of Jim Holton, hardworking team.
Yeah.
They're gonna.
Every time you have Jim as a coach, it's a hard team to beat.
Yeah,
no
Matt Walsh was on
matter
a run
what
for a while.
cycle they're in.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Because they had been really good in 2017. They were just kind of starting to come back up a little bit.
Right.
Now, obviously, you played 4 years here. A lot of highlights. The big one I think that went viral a little bit. You get caught out of the net and you come back. The dive.
Oh,
Do you
God.
remember the play? What can you walk us through? What you're thinking when that happens?
I remember we were on the power play, and we were playing St. John. Like St. John won the President Cup, and they had all the guys, like you named them, like Villanome, Joseph, Zboril, Shabbat, you name them, all those guys. And I think game's not going too well. I think it's like 2-3-0, and second starts, we get a power play. Try to try to make a heads up pass to Gio Fiore, and he's looking where all the guys are setting up, but I didn't see that, so I pass it, and it goes by him and right on the tape of Matthew Joseph, and I'm not close to my net. I'm maybe like close to the boards, like on my left side, like on the in the second period. And I see that right away. I was like, oh no. So I try to, I'm just desperate at that point. So I'm skating back to my net, and I was like, okay, I have to dive because they already shot from the blue line. I was like, I have to dive, do something. And I dive and I'm not there. So I just kind of like reach out my stick, hope for the best, and like try to look at the puck at the same time to kind of gauge where to put my stick. And it hits my paddle and just off we go. And I was like, that's not a highlight save you want to make when you just kind of made it up, or you just covered it up on your own mistake. But yeah, that's one that I'm not too proud of because it's because the pass. But yeah, it did go a bit viral. I think it went on TSN and all that. But I was like, oh, yeah.
It's too bad that it in your highlight, because it happened so quick that you can see you giving it up and then recovering. It's too bad it wasn't like
you can't just clip that first part.
No, exactly. It just happens too fast that you have to put in the mistake right there.
But at the end of the day, the puck did not go in.
Exactly.
But
we still ended up losing 7-0. So that's
talking about good teams. That St. John team is insane. They were loaded.
I still don't know what happened in the Mem Cup for them because they were so good.
Yeah, they had a really good team for sure.
There's a interesting story I heard. I want to show you something. I want to get your reaction to this.
Live TV /
yeah.
He doesn't even tell me at the time. So
I think I might have an idea.
Okay. Well, what are your guesses? Any guesses?
I think the pads.
Okay, we'll see if you're right. Oh,
there you go.
Kevin's intuition is just on point here. He's getting everything right.
Yeah, well, because I've been trying to like auction them off or do silent auction or something like that for past years, and it just never happens. And I'm like, I know there's a lot of change over the years of staff and all that, but yeah, those are pretty special.
So what, you never even wore them, eh?
Yeah, I did wear them. We played the game. There's marks on them, and I got them like maybe like a day before the game, and all I had was one practice with them. I was like, I'm still wearing them. I can't not wear them. And I think we ended up winning that game, but yeah, so basically those pads, I always wanted to be involved like with the community and all that, and I'm like, you know what, I had an idea I'd be spending a lot of time here, so like for me there's always wanted to find ways to involve the community, and pediatrics was a big part of like where I want to kind of concentrate my energy on. And I, with my Bill mom being a nurse, and I think she was in pediatrics at that time, or no, she was an ER, but like I think she was able to get me like good like contacts or in contact with people at the pediatrics, and I think 2 years, me and Igor the first year, I believe. No, me, Igor, and Kyle would have a pair of tickets every game for a sick kid with their parents to come and then meet us after the game and whatnot. And I tried to do with Bauer like every like cancer game, so like a Pink in the Rink and the Greg Lynch Memorial game, which is St. Patty's. I always want to do something, and I think 1 year was colored sticks, and the year after that was the pads. And so basically that set of pads, there's a contest at the hospital where they could just draw their pads on a sheet of paper, and I would pick the winner.
Oh, whoa, that's even cooler than I thought.
Yeah, that's basically a kid that drew them, and the winner would I would meet them, and I would give them an autograph stick that was green with the clove. Yeah, that's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the winner would get the Irish stick that I had custom for that game, and yeah, we want to auction the pads off to raise more money with the jerseys and all that. But yeah, so I had a lot of fun with the pediatrics and trying to meet some kids and all that was it was very like eye-opening and humbling to see like all those kids after the games and
no
all
doubt,
that.
yeah.
And, it was fun to do with Igor and Javi, all that, because I wouldn't have been able to do it on my own. But those two guys were really, really generous and really helpful with me and to do that. And we had the fun doing it. It was a blast. Like junior is really the only time where you have that time to invest into like the community and all that. Like it's hard when you turn pro, but I think that's why too I have such a strong attachment to this island and to this city, just with all the things we've been able to do with the community.
That's actually cool because as far as I knew, I thought you actually never wore them.
No, I did.
thought it was,
I did wear them. Actually, I think I have pictures.
because I thought it was someone told me that it was COVID year, and then you bought them and wore them for practice or something, and then never actually.
No, so
wore them.
basically, I played that game, and I believe we won, and then it was the next weekend where they shut down, because it shut down the weekend where we were gonna have the banquet, and I think, yeah.
I feel like we didn't play the Irish game that year, but you obviously wore them at some point. Might just
I wore
from practice.
Yeah.
I'll have to go to I'll have to get confirmation.
I thought. Oh, you know what? No, that was another pair of green pads I made. So that was just for practice.
Yeah, so you did.
There are marks on them, so you had to wear them in practice.
Yeah, I remember. I went on the ice with Chuck before the game. I went on the ice with Chuck before the game, so I could break them in.
Right.
Yeah, I remember. You're right. Because I thought I only did one pair of pads, but I did two.
Cool.
So yeah, my last 2 years, I guess I made pads.
So we can't advertise them as never worn, but we can say never played in.
I think that's what it was. Actually,
Yeah.
I think
So-
because I think we posted something about that.
Yeah, I think
Yeah. So
yeah.
I went on the ice just for like a little session with Chuck, and he shot a few pucks, and I was like, yeah, they'll be okay.
Well, it's good enough.
Yeah.
You wore them.
Crazy how all these
There's
COVID
marks on them,
stories-
so
people see
We
them.
can
Yeah.
see. That's the HD video.
Maybe you can take them back with you.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to still auction them off if we can
You
make
can
that
just
work.
steal them and then see if Joey knows they're not in his office.
Yeah, just make sure if we get the money that it goes to the hospital.
Or
Yeah,
if you ever end up playing another St. Patrick's Day game, just wear them and see if anybody notices.
Yeah.
Seriously,
So, yeah.
See
Okay.
if Yak might want to throw them on.
Could be good luck for him.
could be. He's 31 too, so. He
Oh,
should.
that's right. Yeah, good
Sure.
call.
That's true.
He still follows the team. Very good.
Yeah.
Respect.
I was going through the old interviews. There's an interview where we talked about how you grew 8 inches in 1 year, which I can't relate to, obviously. What is that like especially for a goalie? Your angles are all thrown off and probably some growing pains there.
Oh my God, it looked like Bambi on the ice. It was great until I tried to be athletic or something. It was like I could not run for anything. It was weird, but I mean, I guess for now, like I grew into it. But back then, I remember doing any of these sports. I was like, I used to be able to run fast or run, like at decent speed. And then when I grew, it was just like so slow. I was like, oh my God, I'm not an athlete. I look like just a nerd and can't even do anything. I've never done sports, and I'm a hockey player. Can't run.
Well,
But-
before he came in here, Matty said to me, he said, wait till you see what he's built like. He's built like a tennis player. That's what he said.
Yeah.
I mean, you're built like a goalie is what you're built like.
Yeah. A lot of people say you're a
Spider.
swimmer.
Oh.
Swimmer, like long torso, long arms.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I know it's people probably look at me like he plays hockey. You probably wouldn't know I play hockey, but yeah, I mean, if you saw me back then, it was even worse. I was like 180 pounds, like 6'4". Now I gained maybe like 30, 35 pounds since then, but yeah, like it was even worse back in the days. But back in the days, like a few years ago, I guess. But yeah, it's definitely not that typical. Let's say a hockey player like 5'10", built and all ripped.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And you started your defense at one point, eh? And then you moved to
Oh
goalie?
yeah. That didn't last long. that just
Like, how old were you?
like Timbit hockey, like
Oh, yeah.
like when we do the Timbit jamboree, like pretty much that age, and then I
okay.
just called it quits because
Yeah.
I did not like. I wouldn't really like. I'd always be offside and wouldn't know anything. And then it lasted like a few games, and
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, we're putting the pads on. Because I put the pads on like just only because there's missing a goalie, And I thought I was good because I let in 1 goal because I was talking to someone. So, and then I was like, oh, I'll go goalie. I thought I was pretty good.
Yeah.
But
Another similarity to Colten Ellis too. Colten played, I think he was player till he was peewee. Like was quite a ways into it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's something to that. Maybe they have like a perspective on another part of the game.
Yeah.
The best goalies are the ones that start like
Yeah,
this.
I guess.
Well,
Yeah, but
Fleury,
Colton
another
had a different build than me when I was when he was younger. He showed me a few pictures.
I can't get into that.
Yeah, no, it'd be rude. He's not even here to defend himself.
I told him I was going to talk to you about. I told him I would bring up 2016 or when you guys were fighting for the backup
Colton's
spots.
just
Oh,
like
yeah.
fuming watching on YouTube right now.
Did he tell you about the goalie camp incident with the alarm not going off?
No.
Oh god.
Maybe I can't remember.
I think so. They were taking our phones at the Hockey Canada goalie camp, and me and Colton were together. So we had to call to get a wake up call, and we never got it. So we wake up from a knock on our door from like a Hockey Canada staff, like, hey, like we're all in the bus waiting for you guys. We're like, oh shit, like we're late, like such a bad look.
Right.
And me and Colton are just getting our stuff on, like running to the bus. Everyone's just watching us getting. I was like, oh, this is so embarrassing. Yeah, we went through a few things, me and him together, but it's all funny now. So it's
Colton's
all
most
good.
talked about alumni in Eagles history to play 3 games. I think.
Oh, for sure. Like it's such a good, like a big thing for like Cape Brenners to have like a caper on the team.
Yeah.
And you saw it with Gents, you saw it with Balmer and all that, which is cool. And you know what? Like I also know like fans are probably upset when they traded him, and that's like I understand how big it is for them. So I understand fully, and he is a great goalie. I could have been the one traded away and all that, and I guess history didn't have it that way, but like he would have been great for this team, and but. Yeah, I'm not surprised that he's one of the most talked about alumni that only played like a few games. Yeah, but
it all loops together though, because the first round pick the Eagles get for him gets moved for Mitchell Balmas. So it comes back.
Oh,
It
really?
comes back
Oh, cool.
home
I never knew that.
in a way.
Nice.
I'd like to have a bit of credit for that pick. Though.
Absolutely. Are you picturing like an alternate universe where you're playing for Rimouski?
Oh no. I mean, I'm sure Rimouski would have been a fun spot. Like we've played there for quite a few times, and it was a fun spot, fun barn playing. But I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
I'd rather stay here and have play 4 years here and have Colton beat me in playoffs.
Maddie was saying earlier too that a guy you probably have a lot of stories about was Laferriere, Mathias Laferriere.
Oh, yeah,
Drafted
yeah,
by
yeah.
Who
St.
actually
Louis with Colton.
Plays with Colton.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
in Springfield.
It all comes back to that.
Yeah. Oh well, we spent a lot of time. I think just being like from Quebec, like, I don't know. It would just happen to be. We would be spending a lot of time together. So, yeah, he's a funny kid. He's a funny kid. Like he's from France, right? So he's not always like. Like probably people from Cape Breton aren't used to people like that, but like when you know who he is, he's just so funny. Like I remember like I think his shoelace broke like of his dress shoes, and instead of just buying new ones, he put a hockey lace, and it was like those thick ones. It was just like looks so
Did they actually
bad.
fit?
He found a way. So he had 2 different laces, like. And it's just like knowing him is just like the stories at school and all that. Like, it was just hilarious. I have one at the top of my head. It's just like we're in class and we're just like talking and all that. And I think I was with Cork too. Actually, we're in in biology, and we're just like how you have like your chair and you're just like leaning onto it like on those 2 legs, whatever. And he just slips and bang his head off the wall.
Oh,
and like
no.
it made such a loud noise. Like the class just went like so silent, and then there's just me and Adam that just starts laughing at him. It's like so embarrassed, but like knowing Laffy, you're not even surprised that it happened. But you just have so many good stories like over the years with all the guys pretty much. But having like let's say especially guys that I spent my entire career with, like Adam, Mathias, Igor. Igor was like 3 years, but still, you have so many great stories. Like I remember me and Cork like we were talking. Oh, it'd be like fun to like just spend our entire career together and all that, and then ended up happening.
Cool.
But yeah, it was definitely good years. Good years with we had a lot of good people on our teams.
For sure. Nice to see you guys come back, too, because I know Adam's around this summer, which is cool.
Yeah.
You had talked about that 2019, so you come back against Charlottetown. Just what are some of your best memories of playoff hockey in general? Because there's that series, and the one that stands out to me, too, 2018, that triple overtime game against Drummondville.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, that was special because Drummondville was pretty a really good team, and we were like probably Pat, you would say that 17-year-old year that was probably our year where it was the toughest in terms of rebuild.
Yeah, you're just kind of starting back up.
Yeah,
you lost a lot of veterans.
Exactly. So we're we knew we were able to win one or like a few games against them and all that. We know it'd be hard to come out of that series, but remember like if we had a split, we were like gonna be super happy. And I remember we started the game, starts right away. Like they score, like oh shit, like that's not good. And I think anyways, like games always like 1-1, like 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, like kind of keep tying each other up, and then we go into overtime, and then just the game stops. Like no one's shooting, no one like is doing anything. But it's like so first overtime's over, second overtime. Like I remember back then, our coach was like big on like not eating too much heavy foods and all that. So all we had like was like applesauce, and like we're eating applesauce for like the first overtime, second overtime, and third overtime. We're like, oh my god, like we're so hungry, like everyone's dead, like, and so I think in third overtime, I don't know what time. I don't know if it was far into the third overtime.
It was pretty late in the third OT that it won.
And I think like the shots are like high 50, early 60s, and all that, and we have a face off in their zone, and we win the face off, and I think I don't know if it's Bourret that shot or just took
he had the goal. I don't know.
I know he had the goal, but I don't know who shot. And then it just trickled, and then like he was almost in the net with the puck just to make sure like he scored, and
after being scratched the first game.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Oh, he was scratched. I didn't know.
He was kind of on the rotation. Yeah,
oh
so
wow.
He drew
Okay.
in for the game too.
And yeah, that was huge. But like we were so tired that it's like you're happy, but you're so tired. You just want to get out, and like it gets mentally. You're like, oh my god, like I'm so tired. You just hope the other goalie like caves in first, right?
Nice.
And I remember like obviously in juniors, like you're like eating a lot of Boston pizza and all that and whatnot. And our thing that year was like the MVP burger, right?
Yes.
And
yeah, we had a lot of those that year.
And the burger was sitting there so long in the bus. We're starving. We get back on the bus. The food was there probably like since like start of third period. Yeah. The bus was so cold and it was there for so long that the grease of the food turned white. So like the patty was white, the bacon was white. Like it was just like I don't even want to eat this, but like I have to because I'm so freaking hungry. Yeah. And it was one of the like it's just a story where like when we think about it back then, it's like that was a crazy game that it goes into third overtime, and it's pretty much one of my only games where it went that far.
Oh yeah.
But it's fun to be part of those games, especially if you win, because then if you lose, you're like, oh my god, like
yeah, all for nothing.
Yeah, but no, that was a draining game, but a fun game, especially that we won, and then we were flying back and
with them on the same
plane. Yeah, with them on the same flight.
Yeah. And on the way back, the first stop was at the convenience store because all the water in the bus was get brought in during intermissions. So
oh well,
first place we had to go.
That's cool, I guess. And like looking back on it now, but it's probably not fun to do.
At the moment, you're like, oh my god, I don't want to eat a burger that's cold and all that, and like then when you're in the game, you're so tired, so exhausted, you just like hope someone messes up, and we score. But when you think back at it, it's pretty special.
Patty mentioned too that when you were here, your brothers would make some trips down, and they were big fans. you tell us about that?
Oh, I think they were more popular than any player on the team when they were down. It was funny. Yeah, they were. I think, yeah, they're in CJEP, I believe, at that time, and CJEP's like in Quebec is like almost like in between like high school and like
Right.
university. Pretty much a waste of time, but and so they were still partying and like loving to come at arenas and just drink, and they made the trip. We won a game, and if we were gonna win, they were gonna come, and we ended up winning. So they drove all night to show up at one game, and they showed up with like empty beer boxes on their heads with holes in them, and like they were so hammered. Like they would have beer, like people would buy them beer at the rink, like here. All that, and no, so they definitely had a great time here, and like they would come here, and like people would ask their autograph, and like my brothers
No way.
like don't have an autograph, so they would just write their entire name
Yeah.
on their jersey. It'd be like so funny, but they enjoyed it. My family loved coming down, and my brothers also, like they loved it here, and yeah, it's they had created stories too when they'd come down.
So next year's playoffs is going to be unofficials on this side, and then your brothers on this
They're
side.
sort of like the
That'd be-
precursor to them.
That's
Yeah.
when they started. I think
Yeah.
they came.
That's right.
They were
around in
there.
the series. Yeah.
Yeah, they were around, but like I
The
said,
unofficials?
yeah. But I
They were
think
in the Rimouski series in 2019.
yeah, they were there.
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, I remember winning. They're the ones that had the flag, right?
Yeah.
So I remember taking that flag a bit like Rooch did,
Right.
and that was right before playoffs, and then they showed up in playoffs too. But it's just we talked a bit before. Like I think they just didn't cover that part. Like when you had like fans and all that, like super like you know hardcore fans, like invested fans and all that. They would never cover that part, which was a bit like which sucked because like some fans like make it worth it sometimes to go and all that.
Yeah.
And
It's added entertainment for the games, too. Right?
absolutely,
Yeah.
it's like it's more than just like on the ice. Like it's in between like breaks. Oh look at the unofficials and
Yeah.
all that, or look at them, or look at those people.
It was fun for a while, too, at the beginning because, like, people thought that they were just, like, I mean, they were doing what they're, like, whatever they wanted, but it was like they didn't realize that they were kind of planted.
Right.
So people were kind of just thought that they were just these nuts because they were
Yeah.
getting kicked out and getting
Right. Well, I mean,
security
Yeah.
was.
Well, because I remember those guys like clear as day. Like when I was there, and they're funny. It was great for the fans and for us because like they would get the crowd going. So
Yeah.
it's great that they kept coming back. That's good to see.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I think Kev's brothers were the inspiration. I could tell you the whole family,
Yeah.
Kev's parents included, would have really enjoyed it if the Blue Lobster Lounge was here.
Oh
And
yeah,
your mom was a big
they
Blue
would have
Lobster
made it.
fan, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, my mom loves those type of drinks. But now she's gonna think that I'm calling her a drunkie.
No,
but
no,
she's
yeah.
not.
I mean, for the
She's
record, I'm not implying.
That's going to be the headline.
Not
Yeah.
remotely.
Kevin Mandolese said what?
Yeah.
He said what about his mother?
I tried to
Throws
stir
her
up
mom
some
under the bus.
controversy.
Yeah.
But no, even I love those Blue Lobster. But
Yeah.
no, I think my family would have made that bar ran just on its own. But it's I saw that too over last year. Obviously I keep in touch, so it's I thought it was cool all the stuff you guys did over this year, and I think that's one of the main reasons why people keep coming back, because you always hear like, oh, what could be better, but I felt this year like you guys actually made it, and which is nice to see, because I think like the community deserves to have like a nice experience, and you want to support this team because obviously like in the winter, like they're there's not much really like going on. You don't have Rips Fest like we have right
Right.
now, you know. So I
This
think
is the thing that's going on.
yeah, pretty much. And it's like, you know what,
Yeah.
like to have something like this here, it's pretty special because it's like it keeps the fans coming back, and and now to see people showing up and encouraging the team and investing their money in the product, it's fun to see because like, you know what, it's we love playing for the fans, in front of the fans, so if they keep coming back, it just makes us want to play even harder.
Yeah, so it must have been pretty fun watching that run the boys went on this year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was fun. And you know, like I think being 4 years with Bubs and knowing Bubs, we always keep in touch. So obviously was following Cam and Thomas and all that, and even when Jake was there, just kept watching. And so no, it was fun to see the playoffs, see all the fans showing up and being rowdy and loud, and just seeing people too, that like friends that I made over the years, like, you know, like showing up there, even though they're way older than what the age group is right now. And it's like, it was fun for me to see that. And I was like, man, like it made me reminisce of it. I was like, oh man, I wish I had all those fans like show up like day in and day out when I was there, because it was like, I remember like we'd have a few like sellout games, and those were the best. Like that's like from the CBU games to the Battle of Nova Scotia to the Rimouski when Lafreniere was there, to like the playoffs. That like all those games were so fun to play, and especially that some like sad part junior is that maybe some of the guys, it might be one of their only sellout crowds, right?
Right.
So it's like it's fun to be a part of that. It's fun to, so when that happens, you want to play well, so it repeats itself. So, but yeah, it was fun to see.
Well, of course, you got to play in front of other big crowds because as we record, you're a member of the Ottawa Senators organization. Just talk about that, getting drafted into the NHL. It's such a thrill, and a lot of people don't know Ottawa is sort of a hometown for you too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think. Well, I had no idea. It was we had a tough year, my draft year and all that. So I really had no idea where I would end up or if I would get drafted. I know on the list I was pretty high for North American goalies, but yeah, I had no clue where I'd end up. And for it to be Ottawa, like my parents moved from Montreal to Ottawa when I was not even a year old for work. So I my first memories are a bit in Ottawa and all that. My first NHL game as a fan was in Ottawa. So to be drafted by them was it was funny how sometimes lives work out and all that. And to also play my first game in the NHL with them was pretty special for my entire family, because they still have a lot of friends there and a lot of old coworkers there. And so yeah, it was pretty special. It was to play my first game there, but also get drafted, and the whole process of me signing with them and all that, and going to camps and all that was all special. And to also have a guy like Drake like around, knowing that couldn't make me feel a bit more comfortable heading into camp, my first camp, second camp, and my first game was I was pretty lucky for that. So, and also to end up with Igor on the same team. I think it's after this year. I think it was 7 years in the same like playing with each other for since Cape. So 7 years in a row. So.
So cool.
So yeah, everything made it quite easy, and it was pretty special. And I think just to get drafted in the NHL, it's always special. It's special for anybody. And so yeah, but to be in Ottawa with the history we have there and having some friends there, it was fun. It was special.
You had a special first game too, eh? Talk about that, because I'm sure it was a big day. Your girlfriend's in the room. She said that I think she was throwing up or gagging or something. You said.
Yeah, well, yeah. For her, it doesn't take much. The moment she's stressed, anything that she breathes, and it makes her want to gag. But no, yeah, it was special. It was. I kind of had a late night text about my first game. Like, we were playing the night before in Ottawa, and we got on the plane, and they're like, "Yeah, you might play. Just be ready." I was like, "All right, okay." It's kind of late to not have the word yet, but sure. And like maybe 15, 30 minutes later, they're like, "Yeah, you're gonna play." So I didn't have time to kind of coordinate everything. So I texted my agent, and my agent took everything. They took care of everything for my family, my girlfriend. Tickets, whatever, all that. And yeah, and for my first game, like I remember the next morning, like the morning of the game, was different. Like no morning skate because it was back to back and all that. So you have a lot of time to think, right? Like, oh my god, like hoping I just want to play okay. I just don't want to shit the bed or whatever. And so I remember we had a little activation in the hotel, whatever, like made sure I was prepared and you know what, like I remember like I was really like working hard, dialed in practice and all that. So I was just trying to kind of reassure myself with that stuff. And funny enough, that's another story not a lot of people know, but I was in I got in the rink at the rink game day. I probably got there like maybe 3 hours before the game, three and a half before the game, just kind of like be there for a bit and kind of have the nerves like leave my system a bit earlier. And I go to the equipment manager and he goes, like Ryan's mom, like Bubba's mom says you have a Scores cake waiting for you. And like Scores cake, that was my like favorite cake that she makes. And I was like, what? Like, how do you know? And it ended up like happening that like the equipment manager worked with a good friend of Bub's mom and with the Hamilton Bulldogs. And I was like,
the whole hockey world's connected.
it's crazy how small it is. And man, like I get there, it's like, yeah, like I'm from like there's an equipment manager like in Ottawa that's from Halifax and all that. So like it's crazy. There's a lot of Maritimers in pro hockey. It's crazy and it's so small. And it's funny, just that story was like made me feel a bit more comfortable before the game because it's like, okay, like it's like Cape Breton's with me, like, you know, right. I kind of felt them like having my back. And there's maybe 5 minutes where I was like very nervous, and then the rest was just like it is obviously a different level and all that, but it's like the puck's still the same. It doesn't change. It's like my game doesn't change. Like obviously I got there playing the way I did, and so it's like you have this like image in your head that you have to change. It is going to be so different and all that, but it's not that much different. And obviously players are more skilled, make plays and at faster pace and all that. But like, you know that if you just do what you need to do, you'll be okay. And so that whole game was a bit like, I didn't really kind of black out. It was just like, for me, it was more to realize what happened. Like I didn't expect going in that game and have ended up with 46 saves on 48 shots in a shootout win, and
that's unreal.
And that's go through overtime and go through a penalty kill in overtime, and have a guy like Horvat go on a breakaway against me twice in that game. Like, all right, well, one breakaway, one shootout. So it was just like not like I remember everything perfectly, but it's just like almost like you almost like doubt that you did that. It's like you never think like. Well, in my head, I was like, oh, no chance that's gonna happen. Like, but I think for that aspect of my game, like, kind of believing in myself came a long way with Scotty. Scott Guthrie, like, he helped me a lot for that. But, and yeah, after that, it was just like a whirlwind of like emotions and like it was fun. I was pretty lucky to have like my family, my girlfriend, and her dad there too. Like it was fun. Like not a lot of people, I know, like it happens like quick sometimes, and you can't have your family there. So I was lucky to have them there. And the next day, like a lot of people from Cape texted me, so that was special too, to see that they watched and all that. So it was an exciting game, exciting day, and I think it's a whole. It's a yes, like people look at me and be like, oh, he played very well, but I think it's the fruit of a lot of things mixed together, like my time here, my parents, my coaches here, everything, and I felt like it was really a whole like community, a whole like, you know, like all my progress, the people I've met through my young years and my junior years and all that. So it was special. I was definitely thinking about like when I first started my junior like route and all that. I was thinking about a lot of things when it happened. It was special, yeah.
And you had a unique opportunity, I guess, last year as well, coming back here with the Senators, you and Igor.
Yeah.
Like, what was that about? I know you didn't play it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that sucked. I would have liked to play a bit, but
Why would they not play you? I don't understand. Why
Yeah,
not?
I was very disappointed when I came.
Yeah,
in here.
I know. The thing too is like I kind of had a bit my hopes up because I was having a really good camp, training camp, and all that. Like they were really happy with me, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll play half a game, whatever. Didn't happen, but you know what? Like I was just happy to be back, like be on the bench, like be in the locker room. The day before, like just kind of walking around, seeing people I've met, like I've seen and met and worked with throughout my 4 years here. The fans that were always supporting the team and seeing them when we walked into the rink. It was just special. And you know what? Like Ottawa was really good with Ryan, with Jen, with the two young fellas, Boyd and Ella. So they were really good to them. So you know what? Like I was just happy for that. Like they really took great care of them, and so it was special to just be back with them. It was like kind of a full circle moment, and I could not be grateful enough for them to just have brought me along and be able for all of us, my billet family, to live that. It was fun.
Yeah, it's cool. What a cool like scenario. Just that you guys were.
Yeah,
there,
it was.
right?
It was
And so
it was
soon
fun.
Of all
too.
the teams to come, Ottawa.
Yeah.
And it was and it was so weird because like I got in because when I left it was all the old boards, old this, old that, and I come back and it's all this new rink. And I'm like, oh my god, it changed so much. But yeah, it changed, but it was still special. Like it's fun. It was
I think
fun.
Igor was mic'd up for that too, and there was I remember I watched and he was
Yeah.
talking
was a
about
great
something about the
video.
changes.
Oh yeah. It was. That's the guy to mic up. That's for sure. Especially, I think he was playing. I believe so.
Yeah, he played a bit, actually.
So,
of course, Drake had a big day, too.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not even thinking about
Yeah,
that.
he
Yeah,
had
4
a
points.
game, but
Wow.
I mean Drake has a game pretty much every night in the NHL.
Yeah.
So.
So it was also, like, it was mostly, guys that were fighting for spots, but Ottawa was going to play him. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's so cool. I didn't even think about it.
Well, he asked to play the back-to-back.
Oh, he played
Yeah,
in
right,
Halifax
to
the next
play in
night,
Halifax,
too.
Yeah,
yeah.
he wants to play both, which
Right,
is cool. But sadly, I don't have that power.
Yeah. Someday.
Drake pulled
Next time you
Bowerman.
come back, I guess.
Yeah.
It was funny, as you mentioned, you and Igor have been teammates for so long, but one competitive game, we did play against each other. It was a top prospects game.
Yeah.
Did Igor get any shots on net? I remember the embrace when you
Yeah.
guys were doing the handshake line. It was really cool.
I think he did get one shot on net, but I think he did, but I don't think it was a great chance. But he still got the shot on net. But I think he had a pretty good game, right?
Yeah, if I recall correctly. Yeah.
But yeah, no, we that's probably the only time we played. Oh, actually, no, under 17. But before he got drafted to Cape Breton, we played against him, and I was actually playing that game, and we won. I think we won 1-0. Yeah.
Well, I guess you're probably gonna miss him. I guess now too because he just got traded.
It'll be
I guess,
weird.
A week
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
be weird to not have him.
Yeah.
He's a funny character, man. Like he's always has something to say in a good way. Like he's just always like the life of the party. Like
Yeah.
if everyone's like down, he's gonna just like talk and kind of brighten everyone's day. And like for people that know Igor, like he's a funny kid. He's always like joyful. Always has something like funny to say, and he always has like some funny like tendencies because he learned French in Cape Breton, right? So,
So weird. Yeah.
so he has like it's a Russian guy with a Russian English accent with saying like Cape Breton things, and it's just it's so comical. But no, like I'll definitely miss him, but I'm happy for him.
and married now too.
Yeah, married.
Last weekend.
Yeah. So that was pretty exciting for him and his family, and but yeah, and he got traded the day before the wedding too.
Man.
Eventful week. For him.
Yeah, eventful week for him,
him
but
back.
you know what? Like I'm just so like the progress he made like from day one he got here is remarkable. Not a lot of people can do that, and you know what? Like we've been together for so long. We've it's almost like we're literally like actual brothers. We fought, we fought, we made up, we had fun, we partied and all that, and so just to see him to get another chance in Utah, and I think it'll be really good for him, and he deserves it. Like he works hard, he puts in the work, and he really took care of like his physical like aspect, like health or aspect of things when he came over, and like so I really hope like it pays off for him in Utah, because I think he deserves it, and I just hope the best.
And joining some more Eagles in Utah as well.
That's right.
With
Yeah,
Thomas Lavoie,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I guess Jacob Newcomb as well. In the
Yeah,
yeah.
Thomas actually played for the same midget AAA team than me, so
Again,
Oh, wow.
good guy there. Good
Yeah.
guy there. You have a good player.
Holy frig.
It all ties together. Well,
It does.
we don't want to keep you all too long, but before we want to wrap up, I do want to mention that I don't know if you would realize that the Mandolese contribution to Eagles culture of Mr. Puffs is still going strong. It's still very much a thing.
Well,
in Eagles fraternity.
I'm happy to hear that. I thought it'd go off the rails, but
Pat loves Mr. Puffs, man.
oh
it's not just
man,
me.
you
No, but like-
did you try that? Did you try that?
No,
Oh.
we've been to Quebec a bunch of times, and we've
You
never
have
been
to.
there.
Next year.
Or maybe no,
The guys,
maybe I
the
did.
coaches, we were out and the coaches were coming back
Yeah.
with them, but we didn't.
You
I
have to
understand
try
why they
them
were-
right off the box. Like
Yes.
when they're hot, it's
Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
In Quebec City, they
Yeah.
have it, but yeah.
oh man, you'll see that so differently, and you'll understand the hype.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm happy to see it's still going strong. I remember like my dad would buy like a box of 50 for the guys, and
And he would buy some for me specifically.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Shout out
Oh,
to
yeah.
Luch.
yeah, shout out to Luch taking care of the boys.
That's very much appreciated. Yeah.
Just to wrap up here, man. So obviously coming back here, you had a long career here. You're very well loved still. Years after you're gone, when things are all said and done, you look back. What we remember about Cape Breton and your time here with the Eagles?
Just the people, the fans, everything that made Cape Breton. Like people truly care about you. Like they'll stop and make sure you're doing okay here and all that. And I remember like everyone wants to help you. That's on the ice or off the ice. I remember like having Pauline Chisholm's husband like do like Jim tutor me for classes just to make sure I'm all set on that department and all that. I mean, he would actually tutor me and Kyle Havlena, and that just shows how the people are here. And and that's like I said before, it's like you don't understand what Cape Breton is or how nice Cape Breton is until you go there,
Right.
and meet the people and see the city, see the landmarks and all that. And it's just special, and that's what I took with me in my 4 years. The people I've met, the fans I've met, the kids I've seen, and try to make a difference in their day. And at the end of the day, like I'm lucky to play hockey, and I was lucky to play 4 years in one spot, and spend 4 years with the same billet family. And so for me, it was just to give back and make sure like I can be the best version of or the best player I can be for them and for the fans, and try to put the work in for them, and try to be a better human myself, because coming here and seeing all those good people, good genuine citizens, it's like made me want to be better. And that's what I kind of take with me. It's everything, all the people, the community, helping each other out.
Well, we're glad to have you back here. I appreciate you stopping in. Maybe we'll see you and your brothers in the Blue Lobster Lounge next playoffs.
Oh, I hope so. I would definitely be down for that. But thanks for having me, guys. Always a pleasure to be back,
Thanks,
and
Kevin.
definitely will be back again.